कल मैं इधर आया तो आज अखबार में मैंने देखा कि लंबी चौड़ी बयान दिया, जब उसमें जूनागढ़ को भी डाल दिया, जूनागढ़ को ठीक है। तो उसका उसमें कोई चीज बनने वाली है नहीं, तो यूनो में जाओ कहीं पास जाओ, चीज नहीं बन फिर मैं खुलने लड़ाई हमने किसको दिया, हमने किसी को दिया नहीं। कुछ भी चीज दिया, फिर जूनागढ़ में मक्खी भी मारी नहीं थी, किसी खाना नहीं क्या ये ये भाई, ये पहला कुछ नहीं है, ये कहो ये दिल का फिर मैं चलता है, इस चलता है तो फिर लोग मत करने की क्या जरूरत है, नहीं करके चाहते कि खुले नहीं तो फिर लोग मत किस तो हम कहते हैं कि आज भी क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा हूँ, लोग हम लेके सिपाही मत नहीं हम इतना दो किया जाए, फिर आकर लोग मत कर आप लेंगे इस तरह से नहीं आप फिर के सबको जमीन हम छोड़ने वाले नहीं। तो दूसरा इतनी जब हिंदुस्तान के हिंदुस्तान के नाजुक नाजुक हालत में देख रहे, इसलिए जिस जगह पर कांग्रेस में हमारी हुकूमत बैठी है उसको मैं इतने लाखों आदमी आप मैं कोई आवाज नहीं ऐसे नाजुक हालत में लाखों आदमी जमा हो गए हैं, आपको एक
ओके
बड़ा
ओके
स्टेज ले जाना चाहिए और सब कुछ होता है। कि आज हमारी कोई चाहिए कोई दुकान सेक्युलर फेथ चाहिए पर आज हिंदुस्तान में कोई आपके पास नहीं है, लेकिन आप समझ में नहीं मतलब गया कि हम कहते हैं यानी क्यों आ बोलते की बात नहीं है, लेकिन हमें उसको गिर जाए खत्ता हो जाए, गिर जाए तब फिर क्या होगा बुलाना नहीं हम हम एक जाए एक हो जाए। मैं कहता हूँ कि घर उससे बहुत नुकसान है तो इस टाइम जब स्वर्ग तो उसकी ठंडी हवा लगेगी, ठीक है ऐसी बात हम क्यों करें, बात है नहीं, लेकिन पाकिस्तान मिटाने के लिए उसको बर्बाद करने के लिए दुश्मन की मैं पाकिस्तान के लीडरों को कि पाकिस्तान का कोई भी दुश्मन हो हो हमको दे दिया देख लीजिए फैसला किया जितनी चीज थी उस चीज में उदारता पे हमने हिस्सा था उससे ज्यादा भी देने की कोशिश की, लेकिन जब ये उनका रुपया देने का किया देने के लिए हम देने के लिए भी तैयार है, लेकिन मैंने लिख दिया तेरे रुपये जवानी
What a great privilege and honor to see Raghava ji and also Madam Survi ji. Namaskar. You are doing great service to the nation. Very proud of you.
जो फैसला किया उसमें से कुछ पलटने के नहीं है
Thank you.
लेकिन आप नहीं करते। भारत निवासी प्यारे भाइयों और बहनें, आज भारत की स्वतंत्रता का 1 साल परिपूर्ण होता है। उस समय पर हमें जो खुशहाली होनी चाहिए इतनी तो नहीं होती है, फिर भी 1 साल हमें कितनी कठिनाइयों में काटी और क्या क्या मुसीबतों का मुकाबला करना पड़ा, उसके पर ख्याल करें तो हमें काफी खुशी मनानी चाहिए। बहुत काम करने का बाकी तो है।
बाबा आवाज थोड़ी कम आ रही है।
इस मौके पर ये जो काम हमने किया वो बताने की जरूरत नहीं है। आज हमारी क्या हालत है, भविष्य में, नजदीक के भविष्य में हमें क्या करना है, उसके पर मैं आपकी तवज्जो दिलाना चाहता हूँ। पिछले साल में जो भारत की आजादी के बाद तुरंत मुल्क में चारे गई, जो खूनी फिसाद निकली, उस हालत में एक तो हमारे पास राष्ट्र के पिता महात्मा गांधी जी मौजूद थे, इससे बच गए। यदि इस समय पर बंगाल में महात्मा जी मौजूद नहीं होते तो जो हमारी क्या हालत होती वो कहना मुश्किल है। उसी समय पर पंजाब का टुकड़ा होने के बाद या तो भारत का टुकड़ा होने के बाद जो मुसीबत हमारे सामने आई, उसमें क्या क्या कठिनाइयों में पसार होना पड़ा आप सब जानते हैं। लेकिन अब आज ईश्वर की कृपा से हम मुल्क में एक प्रकार की शांति स्थापित कर सके। दूसरा, जैसा एक मामला था वैसा ही पेचीदा मामला देशी रियासतों का था। जब सार्वभौम सत्ता हिंदुस्तान में से अपना बिस्तरा लपेट के चली, जब उसने ऐलान किया कि इधर परमाणु से खत्म होती है।
Good evening, everybody. I'm Nitesh Mahajan from Lovely Professional University.
मुल्क एक रहेगा या तो उसका टुकड़ा टुकड़ा हो जाएगा, उस बारे में बहुत लोगों का अलग अलग ख्याल था और लोग चिंता में गिरे थे। उसमें से
Good afternoon to everybody. Govind Sharma is speaking.
भारत की सरकार को साथ दिया, उसके लिए मैं आज इन लोगों को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि उनकी मदद से आज मुल्क में जो एकता हुई है वो सैकड़ों साल पहले कभी नहीं थी। इतनी एकता हमने बनाई तो हिंदुस्तान का टुकड़ा होते हुए भी भारत एक बहुत बड़ा मुल्क है। वो काम नहीं करेगा। सारी दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान जो अपना योग्य स्थान है वो ले सकता है और मुझे विश्वास है कि इस रास्ते पर जो रास्ता गांधी जी ने हमको बताया उसी पर हम चलेंगे तो हमारी जगह सारी दुनिया में बहुत ऊंची होगी। हमारा राष्ट्रीय जो हिंदुस्तान में शांति रखने के लिए, शांति स्थापित करने का हुआ है, भी परिपूर्ण लोग नहीं हुआ है, ये हमें मानना है। हिंदुस्तान में एक कश्मीर में नहीं चलती। और दूसरा, हिंदुस्तान की पूंजी में हैदराबाद का एक बहुत बड़ा विश्वविद्यालय है। वहां से कोई जरूर दिन प्रतिदिन उभर रहा है, खतर रहा है। तो दोनों चीज का करने की हमारी पूरी कोशिश है और हम उम्मीद रखते हैं और हम विश्वास में दिलाना चाहते हैं कि जितने जल्दी हो सके इतना हम करेंगे। लेकिन ये तो मुल्क के भीतर की बात है। हमारी आसपास जो हालत है उसके पर हमें ख्याल रखना है। चाइना में एक समय पर ऐसी हम उम्मीद रखते थे कि चाइना सारा एशिया की आगे वाली लेगा, लेकिन वहाँ की जो भीतर की हालत है उससे मालूम पड़ता है कि वहां से हमको कोई उम्मीद नहीं और वहाँ बड़ा दुख है। जो इसी हालत में आप देखे मलाया वहां भी फिसाद हो गई, इंडो चाइना वहां भी फिसाद हो गई और हम देश हमारे पास 7 साल उनको आजादी मिल गई, उसकी क्या हालत है, बड़ी चिंताजनक हालत है। और हमारे पास लिबरल देखते हैं कि हमारे मुल्क में उसका चेक करने में न लगे ऐसी हालत है, इसलिए हमें बड़ी सावधानता की जरूरत है। कई लोग कहते हैं कि आजाद हिंदुस्तान में जितनी स्वतंत्रता लोगों को मिलनी चाहिए इतनी देने में झिझकते हैं और कुछ ऐसे कड़े कानून बनाते हैं जिसके वजह से आजादी पर प्राप्त होती है। हमें कबूल करना पड़ता है कि ये बात नहीं सही है, लेकिन आपको ये मानना पड़ेगा कि आजादी जिसने दिलवाई इनका खून करने में भी हमारे मुल्क में ऐसे आदमी पड़े हैं जिसको संकोच नहीं हुआ, शर्म नहीं हुई। वैसे लोगों के लिए या तो देशी संस्कृति इधर लाने के लिए, आर्थिक देशी संस्कृति लाने के लिए, राजकीय संस्कृति लाने के लिए, या वहां का प्रदेश का सोशल स्ट्रक्चर इधर जबरदस्ती ठोकने के लिए जो लोग कोशिश करते हैं उसको हम ठीक न रखे और उसकी संभाल न रखे, तो जो चाइना की हालत हुई, जो बर्मा की हालत हो रही है, जो और आसपास ईस्ट एशिया में हालत हो रही है, वो हमारे मुल्क के भी वो न होना चाहिए, उससे सावधान रहना चाहिए। इसलिए हमारा कर्तव्य हिंदुस्तान का, हिंदुस्तान की स्थिति का समझना और उसमें हम गलती करें तो हम आगे बढ़ ही नहीं सकते। इसलिए एक तो हमारा मजबूत एक मध्यस्थ सरकार और दूसरा हमारा मजबूत मुझे इंतजाम, वो भी चीज ना तो हम कुछ काम कर नहीं सकते। इसलिए यदि मजबूत नहीं हो इसके लिए जितना बंदोबस्त करना चाहिए, जितनी इंडस्ट्री चाहिए, जितना उद्योग चाहिए, ये सब चाहिए, खाना पीना चाहिए, ये सब चीज चाहिए, तो हमें मुल्क में आदमी का साथ चाहिए। तो मैं इस मौके पर हिंदुस्तान की जनता को हृदय से अपील करता हूँ कि आपको भारत की सरकार को जितना साथ देने की ताकत हो वो सब दिल से देना।
Namaskar. Hello and welcome to this very special commemoration. We were all hearing and paying tribute to the Lauh Purush the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on his 73rd Punyatithi by way of his power-packed exhortations. We heard two of his speeches, one at Calcutta when he raised the issues of the unification of India, and the other was his speech in 1948 on the second Independence Day. किसी भी महापुरुष को श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित करने का इससे समीचीन, इससे सार्थक कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट नहीं हो सकता। उनकी वाणी को और उनके विचारों को हम सुने, श्रवण करें, और फिर उसकी जो स्पिरिट है उसके अनुसार हमारा जो जोन ऑफ कंट्रोल है, जोन ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस है, उसमें हम यथा योग्य शक्ति से उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करें। सो दैट वाज द स्पिरिट विद व्हिच वी इनिशिएटेड eduINDIA 2022। और आज का यह जो सत्र है, इसका जो मुख्य विवेचन है कि हाउ फायर ऑफ इंडिया, the unifier of 562 princely states at that point in independence, when the British colonial people had made all the conspiracy to vivisect India, अखंड भारत को खंड खंड करने की जो एक कुचक्र था, उसको अकेले सरदार ने एक advanced age, at his advanced age, he brought all the princely states together, and it was really a mammoth contribution at that point in history. And today, when we are all commemorating the Amrit Varsh of Bharat's independence, the 75 years of India's independence, we are envisaging for the next 75 years, we are taking a leap of faith forward as to what India would be in 2047. And as a part of that vision, India 2047, Rethink India thought to commemorate, to raise this aspiration together as to how to reclaim India as a global edu destination, as a predominant global edu destination. Political wars and political things have gone through for these 7 decades in a mammoth way. But Bharat, jo ki ek Vishwa Guru hua karta tha, how it will reclaim that position, and somewhere we thought that it will happen only through one institution at a time. And today we have a galaxy of luminaries to which we want to dedicate this token tribute in the name of the Sardar who unified India and who brought about this modern Indian Republic to the Committee of Nations. And today we are so proud to be to have assumed the presidency of the G20, one of the multilateral summits, and we are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. With that spirit, we would like to initiate today's commemoration, and and we would like to dedicate these small tributes so that this spirit gets carried deeper into the Indian Academy. And today we are also, as a part of eduINDIA 2022, we are also commemorating bolstering the 5th estate, the academia, after the legislature, the bureaucracy, the executive, the judiciary, media. We at Rethink India call academia as the 5th and the foremost estate. And today is also a commemoration of the 5th estate of this country, because जब भारत का जो शैक्षणिक वर्ग है वो सुदृढ़ रहेगा, तभी जो सरदार का विजन था, सरदार ने जो बातें कही, जो एक मॉडर्न कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रिपब्लिक जिसको हम सभी ने इनहेरिट किया है, इट विल रियली मूव फॉरवर्ड फॉर द नेक्स्ट 75 years and achieve our collective aspirations. तो आज के इस ट्रिब्यूट में सबसे प्रथम हम सरदार के नाम से eduINDIA acclamations 2022, we would like to present it to one of the edupreneurs of this country who envisioned education as an instrument of transformation and who created a majestic university in the land of Valor, in the land of 5 rivers, in the land of I would say stoic colors of India, the land of Punjab, the city of Fagwara, which hosts one of the very preeminent Indian universities in the name of Lovely Professional University. उसके जो प्रेरक थे, उसके जो सृजक रहे, आज हम उनको लेट श्री बलदेव राज मित्तल जी को the first Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel eduINDIA acclamation 2022 we would like to dedicate for having catalyzed the lovely movement which now caters to students from 40 odd nationalities in the Punjabi city of Fagwara. making it as an emerging global edu destination. And today we are so very all fortunate that the chancellor of this university adores a seat in the upper house of the parliament. So that should be the power of education. That should be the power of our edupreneurs over there. We would like to request
Professor Dr. Nitesh Mahajan, sir, Associate Director from Lovely Professional University. He's there with us.
To accept this token tribute on behalf of Lovely Professional University. I would like to invite Professor Mahajan to accept this and speak for a few moments.
Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. It's a privilege, and I'm very happy to be a part of this event. I know Honorable Chancellor of Lovely Professional University, Dr. Ashok Mittal, who was supposed to join this event, but unfortunately, Honorable Sir is traveling. So I have been deputed by Dr. Aman Mittal, who is the Vice President and also the niece of Honorable Chancellor, to join this event. Lovely Professional University is India's largest single campus university, hosting more than 30,000 students from India and across the world. And we are also now one of the top ranked university by National Institute of Ranking Framework by Government of India. And there are a lot of accolades with a lot of international rankings and accreditations, which are now a part of the Lovely Professional University group. I'm very young, and I have, I'm not able to talk much about late Shri Baldev Raj Mittal, but we have heard a lot of stories about this sir. The group started in the year in 60s with a small sweet shop, and later on this sweet shop, the specially Lovely Sweets name, becomes so big in Punjab. And now I think Lovely Bake Studio, which is another vertical of Lovely Sweets, which is into the bakery and Lovely Sweets. Now we have presence even not in India, in various countries. Lovely Sweets further, when the year passes on in 90s, Lovely Autos emerges. And now Lovely Automobile is also one of the vertical where we have dealerships of Marutis and Nexa and True Values. And Lovely Sweets itself is a corporate name in Punjab. Talking to Lovely Professional University, which from where I belong, started in the year 2000 and as a Lovely Institute of Technology, and got the university status in 2005 by University Grants Commission of India.
Yeah, Nitesh sir, we can't see you. Can you just check out your
Sir,
camera?
I think there is some technical fault. If you allow me to rejoin.
Yeah, we would wait for you. That would be great.
Just a minute.
Yeah. So this was our humble tribute to late Shri Baldev Raj Mittal ji. भारतवर्ष में edupreneurs को एक बहुत ही एक importance रही है. They have been furthering. Yeah, we have got Nitesh Mahajan ji back with us. Yeah. Yeah, Nitesh sir, you can please carry on. Anyways, no issues.
So please carry on, sir.
Yes, moving forward, we have a very esteemed personality with us whom we would now like to dedicate the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel eduINDIA Acclamation 2022. Someone who is, I would say, catalyzing the entire movement of reading and the kind of impact which Professor Govind Prasad Sharma, the Honorable Chairperson at the National Book Trust, he made during the COVID time. This is exemplary, and our editorial board just could not I would say, stop from the temptation of recognizing this mammoth book, because book reading is something which remains at the foundational pillar of the entire ongoing education, whatever we call it over there. So we'd like to bestow upon Professor Govind Prasad Sharma the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel EduIndia Acclamation 2022 for his impressive role in catapulting the frontiers of national learning in lines with the NEP 2020 by juxtaposing it to the phenomenon of literature through a slew of innovative interventions, even during the disruptive phase of COVID-19. At the National Book Trust, especially the Corona Study Series, which he initiated, the Stay Home India with Books, that was a kind of a movement with Professor Govind Sharma envisaged and implemented. Story lounges, bilingual books, virtual book fairs, knowledge communication centers, apart from setting up of 50,000 odd readers clubs and reaching out to around 1 lakh schools under the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, as well as those concerning ebooks and braille books in making reading more inclusive and participative. I think this is one of the most illustrious citations, the kind of impressive work which Professor Govind Sharma's leadership at the National Book Trust has brought about into this country. I would request Professor Sharma to accept this token tribute from this August forum of eduINDIA and also speak a few words on this occasion. Professor Govind Sharma, sir.
आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी सर, आप
जी
जी सर, जी सर.
Yes, sir.
मैं यात्रा में हूँ, ट्रेन में हूँ, तो मेरे को संदेह है कि मेरी बात पूरी तरह आपके पास तक पहुंच पाएगी.
सर स्पष्टता से बिल्कुल आ रही है. आपका कैमरा भी अगर हो सके, whatever is the circumstances, we would love to see.
जी मैं
Yes.
हेलो.
जी सर, प्लीज कैरी ऑन सर, प्लीज कैरी ऑन.
हाँ, इसलिए मैं राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्याय का जो मूल उद्देश्य है वो पुस्तक संस्कृति को विकसित करना है. सभी नागरिकों में, बच्चों में पढ़ने का अभ्यास बने, पुस्तकों को रखने का अभ्यास बने और पुस्तकों से वो मित्रता करें, क्योंकि पुस्तकों से अच्छा कोई मित्र नहीं और पुस्तकों का अच्छा कोई फ्रेंड, फिलोसोफर एंड गाइड भी नहीं. पुस्तकें हमारी मित्र हैं, पुस्तकें हमको मार्गदर्शन करती हैं और पुस्तकें जीवन के प्रति एक दृष्टि को विकसित करती हैं. इस रूप में पुस्तक संस्कृति के विकास के लिए न्यास कटिबद्ध है. अभी तक न्यास की यात्रा एक बहुत लंबी यात्रा रही है. 1957 में इसकी स्थापना हुई, तब से अभी तक हजारों की तादाद में हिंदुस्तान की 23+1 24 भाषाओं में, इसके अलावा विदेश की भी कई में पुस्तकों का प्रकाशन किया है. सभी के शिशु वर्ग से लेकर के और बिल्कुल 80-90 तक की उम्र के लोगों के लिए पुस्तकों का प्रकाशन किया है। ये संस्था अपने दायित्व का निर्वाह कर रही है। समाज का बहुत बड़ा सहयोग हमको मिल रहा है और अच्छी तादाद में लोग पाठक जुड़ रहे हैं। एक पुस्तक संस्कृति का भी प्रकाशन किया जाता है जो द्वैमासिक पत्र का है। अब मूलतः देखा जाए तो प्रकाशन का कार्य बड़ा पुनीत कार्य है। हम विचारों को समाज तक ले जाते हैं पुस्तकों के माध्यम से और विचारों के कई विकल्प भी उपस्थित करते हैं। एक ही दृष्टि से लोग सोचें वो जरूरी नहीं है, इसलिए कई प्रकार के दृष्टिकोणों को लेकर के जीवन के प्रति कई प्रकार के दृष्टियों को लेकर के पुस्तकों का प्रकाशन होता है। देखिए तो पुस्तकें कामधेनु है, आप जो मांगिए पुस्तकें आपको देती हैं। मनोरंजन है, साहित्य है, कला है, संस्कृति है, शिल्प है, स्थापत्य है, सभी कुछ आपको पुस्तकों के माध्यम से मिलता है। और इस लक्ष्य को राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्यास पूरी तरीके से पूरा करने में कटिबद्ध है। आप सब लोगों का सहयोग है और इस सहयोग के बल पर हम दिन ब दिन आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। आपने मेरे को ये मौका दिया राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्यास के संबंध में मैं कुछ आप लोगों तक पहुंचा सका, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ। नमस्कार।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। एक बहुत ही सारगर्भित रूप से आपने राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्यास के प्रकल्पों का हमें हमारे को उसका ज्ञानवर्धन किया और the kind of work what you are doing at NBT is really inspirational, and the kind of culture, the kind of reading culture which is being inculcated all over again, which is so very central, and all our academicians from schools to higher education institutions all across, they will all agree with Professor Govind Prasad Sharma ji, the kind of mission what NBT is furthering over there. Thank you so much, sir. And it was really an honor and privilege for us to bestow this token tribute onto you. Moving forward, we would like to bestow this honor, the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel EduIndia Acclamation 2022 on Professor Venkapaiah R. Desai. Professor Desai was a long-term professor of civil engineering, and like the reinforced cement concrete, he used to reinforce a lot of nationalistic virtues in his students. He is now adorning the directorship of IIT Dharwad, one of the earliest ones. And Professor Desai is being conferred upon this token tribute for having instilled the nationalistic foundations of his students on a sustained basis in a subtle but substantive manner, inspiring and instigating them to dedicate themselves to the service of the nation. Professor Desai used to carry a 10 rupee note in his upper pocket, and he used to ask the students, whosoever used to interact with him, कि तुमको भारतीय भाषाओं के बारे में पता है क्या? कितनी भाषाएं हमारे इस देश में हैं? And what a simple way of taking out the 10 rupee note and telling that these are the scheduled languages of the Indian Constitution. So एक बहुत ही सहज रूप से Professor Desai used to instill that pride of your own country. And his classes, these nationalistic classes, used to be on the campus roads all across. So yes, he has been a professor par excellence across, but this education which really made a lot of his students really inspired to come back and work for the nation at large. I would request Professor Desai to accept this token tribute, and also illumine us, also give us a short exhortation on this occasion. I think Professor Desai might be joining us a bit later. We will move forward. So the doyen of like one of the very founding edu leaders all across, someone who envisaged to make Delhi as the knowledge capital. So, वहां से लेकर और आज तक being the president of the Association of Indian Universities, Professor Preetam Babu Sharma has been a quintessential advocate of reclaiming India as a preeminent global edu destination. And in one of the very recent conferences, Professor Sharma advocated and brought about an action advocacy about this entire narrative all through. So we'd like to confer upon the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel eduINDIA Acclamation 2022 on the esteemed self of Professor P.B. Sharma, as he is popularly known as, for his sustained advocacy and concerted action plans for the internationalization of India's higher education, leveraging the quintessentially Indian areas of yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, vegetarian food, technology, and to taste and enjoy the cultural and philosophical heritage of India that offers a holistic package of creating a new world of peace, prosperity, and the divine bliss apart from the core critical area of affordability. Now, this is the entire, I would say, suggestions, entire recommendations of Professor Sharma, which certainly can reclaim India as a preeminent global edu destination. I request Professor Sharma to accept this token tribute from this August forum and also benedict us with his exhortation. Professor Sharma.
Raghav Mittal Sahab and Dr. Surviji, first of all, let me thank you very much for thinking of me on this momentous occasion when we all have gathered here to pay our utmost respect and reverence to the lotus feet of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, the Lohe Purush of India, as he was called. He the one who united whole of India, in fact, for a common cause to develop our great nation to great eminence, not only for the people of India, but for the global world community. India stands united because of the efforts which were invested by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And I wish to thank you, Raghavji and Dr. Surviji, for organizing such a great program, reminding all of us our duties and responsibilities of not only ensuring that India remains united, but unitedly we work together to create the brightest of the bright future for 1.4 billion people which reside here in India and to our sisters and brothers of the global world community. India, as you all know, has been known throughout the world for its commitment to peace, for harmony, for highest pedestal at which the knowledge is to be treaded and transacted with utmost sincerity and devotion for the purpose of ensuring that human excellence is cultivated for the larger collective good of the humanity, as well as for the protection of and sustainable development and protection of Mother Nature. Unfortunately, the education system during the last 75 years, though we made great advancement of science and technology and earned Mother India a great place of pride in many of the sectors of development, fact remains that we have yet to do a lot more in order to win over India as a preeminent destination for high quality education. People like me wish to dedicate this acclamation which you have conferred upon me to the institutions and to the people with whom I have been associated during my long 50 years plus journey of professional education and research here in India and abroad. Let me remember my days when I myself was a student and I saw India being built at that time at a great speed on the strength of science and technology power, and the kind of development that took place in the initial years of independence of India, of course, was an assurance of a rock-solid foundation of science and technology enabled India, which will rise to a great esteem. And in many sectors, we have achieved undoubtedly the self-reliance on the strength of science and technology. But remember that we are in a century today. This is the century of the people. And therefore, it would be absolutely essential for us to now understand, especially after post-COVID now, that while we make great strides on the economic front and certainly ensure that India becomes not only just top 3, but even the topmost economies of the world in the next 5 or 10 years, even beating China in its actually overall size of economy. We have also to ensure that the economic prosperity results into ensuring responsible citizenship, governance that we could be proud of, development that could be sustainable, society and social justice could become, in fact, within the reach of one and all. And India still remains as one of the Santi Dut, propagating the spirit of united world community through Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is a tall order where we need to now all look at our education, especially to prepare India at 100 for the year 2047, when we shall celebrate the centenary of independent India. People like me believe that the new education policy has put before us a great agenda to prepare India at 100. Let us dedicate our education from schools to the colleges to the universities now for the singular cause of preparing the community ambassadors of India who would be taking forward this torch of peace, prosperity, happiness, integrating science with the spirituality. And in our own university system, we should be cultivating with utmost sincerity the cause of integrating knowledge with character, so that integrity, simplicity, and sustainability become the hallmark of the character of the Indian people who submit to education up to the level of university and thereafter. I also want to see the integration of science and spirituality through our quest for scaling new vistas of science and technology advancement. I want to see great investment in technology innovations that shall foster the cause of sustainability and ensure that our efforts invested in higher education, research, and innovation ultimately benefit the people and also go a long way in assuring the brightest future for our people here and for the world community by assuring and maintaining a sustainable environment all around. I want to also ensure that the education creates that intense desire to take the privilege of education as a privilege to serve and privilege to excel during one's own lifetime. And I want to see that the educated people understand the purpose and meaning of the new digital age in which we have already entered into. In this age, Satyamev Jayate would be the hallmark not only of India, but for the whole world. In this new age of digital India, let me also say that India would be able to fly its flag, not only in the territories which we command here within our own country, but around the world at large. When they said, "Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara," और साथ में ये भी कहा कि विजयी विश्व तिरंगा प्यारा. How can the Tiranga be Vijay Vishwa Tiranga unless we understand that the founding fathers of those of our India's freedom, we are keeping in mind that Tiranga represents highest level of environmental sustainability, highest level of energy efficiency, and also safety and security. And the chakra in the center was envisioned as the circular economy, the pathways on which tomorrow's inclusive and sustainable development will be mounted. It is relevant not only for India, it will be the hallmark for the whole of the world. And I'm living for the day when the Tiranga will be pasted on every single product, no matter where it is produced, in what nationality, and where it is traded, because that would be a guarantee for highest level of environmental compliance, energy security, safety and security for which the product is designed for, and for the life for which it will sustain its quality and reliability and service for which it has been prepared to. And the circular economy will ensure that the growth, which is with sustainability, become the hallmark of not only new India, but the whole of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, on this momentous occasion, let me also draw tremendous satisfaction that I have been blessed by God Almighty and the well-wishers of people like Dr. Raghav Mittal and Dr. Survi Besji and many others who came in my contact in my association at University of Birmingham, at Samrat Ashok Technological Institute, from where I graduated, University of Birmingham, where I obtained my master's and doctorate degree, IIT Delhi, where I taught for 12 years and engaged myself in research innovation, built Delhi College of Engineering and Delhi Technological University for 25 years, and fostered several innovations, sometimes ahead of time, in the areas of leading India in the innovation and research, and also at Amity University, where I am, where we are leading by example. This morning, I checked the air quality by telling me PM 2.5 is 15 microgram per cubic meter. Remember that the safe limit is 20 microgram per cubic meter, and we are assuring 15 microgram per cubic meter as the air quality within my campus, while the air quality in the capital city today was at 220, and in the Gurugram it was 170. So we have to lead by example in our university campuses to assure good quality of air, environmental sustainability of the highest order, naturally reprocessing all the wastewater, harvesting all the fresh rainwater in our campuses. I want to see all IITs, all IIITs, all NITs, all central universities to be self-sufficient both in water as well as in energy, so that in fact we can lead by example on sustainability and build India of our dream. It is only by leading by example on these sustainable practices and values, and at the same time having zero tolerance policy for any indiscipline or any wrong committed by any individual within the campus, we would be able to assure education with quality. We will be able to cultivate education and character together, and would trade and transact with the highest commitment towards sustainability, inclusiveness, and undoubtedly for creating a just and fair society which the whole world requires. This is my submission to you at this point, and that would be a great service to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, who united India for a larger purpose, and the purpose was let India unite together and lead the world on the pathways of peace, prosperity, happiness, sustainability, showing highest care and concern for Mother Nature, and being thankful to God Almighty for giving us this opportunity and privilege to be part of a higher education system in India. I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this momentous occasion. My utmost reverence and respect to the lotus feet of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, and we remember him on this day and pay our homage to him. And thank you, eduINDIA, for this onerous opportunity provided by you to all of us on this momentous occasion. Thank you for the honor. I accept it with utmost humility and dedicate it back to eduINDIA and to all those who have been associated with me in the institutions and organizations I have served during my 52 years of service. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. You have so very authoritatively, I would say, emphasized upon the competitive advantage of India, which lies into the cultural and the philosophical heritage of this grand civilization. And carrying forward this mandate of word of peace, prosperity, we would now like to dedicate this token tribute to none other than Shri Yogesh Yogi Kochar sir, who after his prolonged career in the academia, high-tech technological career in the industry, he chose to come back and really, I would say, groom the demographic dividend of this country, the youngsters, with a happiness quotient. So we are bestowing this honor on Yogesh Yogi Kochar sir for having championed the cause of quintessential Indic wisdom, which actually used to drive scholars from across the world to the Indian shores, and the entire cause of eduINDIA, which used to happen on its own in earlier times, accentuating lasting happiness even in the contemporary modern world, which is complex and convoluted to a great extent, by parameterizing it and creating an engaging application to work out the data-driven framework to that effect. And I would request Yogi sir to accept this token tribute and also illumine us further about this data-driven framework of bolstering the happiness of the young learners. Because skills are one part, but when happiness accrues from within, all kind of employability matrix and all kind of skills can always be acquired, and India can truly become a preeminent global edu destination by the furtherance of the same. Shri Yogesh Yogi Kochar sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raghav. Thank you very much, esteemed participants and honorable participants here on this platform. Well, what can I say is just this, that I have been part of the leadership team at Microsoft India. And after a whole bunch of years there, nearly 7-8 years ago, I decided to quit. And this wasn't even a tough decision really for me, in the sense that I was at Maui. I'd like to narrate a small incident. I was at Maui and I bumped into a gentleman called Dr. Harold Bloomfield, who met me at a pub and he asked me, "What do you do?" And I said, "I work for Microsoft." He said, "No, I was asking you, what do you do?" So I told him, "I work for Microsoft." He says, "No, you didn't get the answer. You didn't get the question right." As it turned out, he later illuminated me that he has actually authored as many as about 13 million copies of his books have sold in 32 different languages on happiness. And that is not today, that is some 10 years back. He's now much retired, lives in Maui. Very simple man, but a billionaire. He gave me two sort of reasons to sort of quit Microsoft. And he said, Friday only work for Robinson Crusoe. The rest of all of us work for Friday. Now, we've all read the story of Robinson Crusoe, and we know that the black man that worked for Robinson Crusoe was called indeed Friday. That was one. Then he gave me two more pointers to life. He says, how much do you want and what for your residual life? If you can take that into account without looking over your shoulder at your neighbors, you'll be a happy person. I took his advice. I quit Microsoft at a point in time when I may have been really senior in the hierarchy of Microsoft, or perhaps even in India. And I decided to go to settle down in Dharamsala, which is where I am now. I started trekking with the shepherds, and trekking with the shepherds, I realized that they were really happy. Of course, in the bargain, I lost some 18 kilos of my own weight. But more importantly than that was the fact that I discovered happiness. And after I discovered happiness, I started reading a lot about happiness. I've read up on Sri Ravi Shankar. I've read up on Sadhguru. I've read up on all the saints and seers and all the thinkers of happiness. However, there was one thing that was common, which was this, that nobody had actually been able to quantify happiness. Why am I talking about it? I've been to some of these sessions where people go, sit down, they clap, sing, dance, and do all sorts of things. But the moment they step out of that session, they're usually seen fighting with the rickshawala that parked the rickshaw behind their car. And, and they're saying, why did you park your rickshaw behind my car? Now, that's not a stable mind. That's not a happy mind. That led me to sort of look further and understand what is mind all about. So I got into the psychometrics. I got into the psychology. COVID helped. Those 2 years, I was able to engage in deep research and study. I engaged with several professors. Suffice to say that today I'm on the board of the World Happiness Foundation because of the app that I have created. And on the board of the World Happiness Foundation, I share the board with some very eminent scholars like Professor Philip Kotler and so on and so forth. What have I done? It took provoking my own self to understand what was happening. As much as some of the participants here might feel provoked, that is not the intent. The intent is to first provoke our own selves, and I provoked myself. I think as much as the Britishers have gone, today we are caught in a similar, in a completely different kind of an imperialism. That imperialism is the imperialism of mind. And I will, I can talk on this for hours together, but I will keep it short. What is imperialism of mind? The imperialism of mind says that today we have a phone in our hands, and all the students, including even the adults, all of us spend between 4.5 to 6 hours average, which means students in universities and colleges are spending as much as about 8 to 10 hours screen time. There is an app called Screen Time on the phone, and their activity can be tracked by the user himself or herself, and they can track their own activity. 80% of the time spent on the phone is useless. Not only is it useless, it is slicing their mind, it is slicing their attention spans. I go to several universities. I've been to Manipur, I've been to Chennai, I've been to I've been to Tamil Nadu, I've been to Andhra Pradesh, I've been to Telangana, I've been to some of the most eminent universities, the Anna University, the Abdul Kalam Technical University, the Delhi Technical University, where our esteemed participant has earlier been there. They've signed up with us also. What is it that we said? We said 4.5 to 6 hours of screen time on the phone is slicing not just their mind share, it is also slicing their emotions. Firstly, what is mind share? We think of market share. Indian businesses are usually trained to think of market share. What is my market share? I'm a paint manufacturer. My market share is this much. Americans think differently. It was an eye-opener for me to serve one of the finest companies in America, Microsoft, and I've been involved in some laboratory experiments nearly 20 years back, where we would talk about artificial intelligence and virtual reality and so on and so forth. Firstly, is technology bad? Certainly not. Technology is brilliant. Technology is very good. Technology is like E is equal to MC square. That's where it finishes. E is equal to MC square. As much as it can produce energy, it can also produce an atomic bomb. And all of us, without fail, are suicide bombers if we do not understand how to use technology. If we do not understand how to use technology, not only are we not understanding how to use technology, we are also not understanding how to produce anything in this country. America is 0.33 billion. It's about a 35 crore population. Compared to them, we are 4 times their size. Compared to America, our GDP is 1/8 the size of American GDP, $24 trillion vis-a-vis $3 trillion. Where are we? We are nowhere. Why is it happening? Because there is an imperialism of the mind. Our minds have been captivated, and today our minds, it'll be a shocker for some of us, our minds are today being sold on the New York Stock Exchange for $400 a piece, and you'll ask me why, Raghavji. Facebook itself is a $1 trillion company, and it has 2.5 billion subscribers. If you have to divide 1 trillion by 2.5 billion subscribers, there you are, $400 per mind share sold on the New York Stock Exchange. What is it that we are doing about it? Our mind is like a sieve. Whatever is being told to it, whatever is being taught to it is actually all percolating and is not, people are not able to retain it at all. In context with that, then we developed an app. That app goes ahead and plants itself on the same phone, but reverses the barrel of the telescope from the reader's, from the user's mind that is always seeking outside to seeking within. The user will seek irrespective. You give the user to seek anything, the user will seek. Why? Because there is neuroplasticity on our mind. And the neuroplasticity in our mind is always saying, hey, show me more. That's why people say you can't put a man in a room, otherwise he'll go mad. Because the mind wants more. You know, you can only eat up to a certain level, but the mind is never tired. Even when the human being is sleeping, the mind is still in active mode, because the mind is always continuing to evaluate the dreams and this, that, and the other. Mind is always out there in the Brahman. So we figured that there was a way, if there was a way to control the mind, then we can control the human being, then we can control the human being's environment. Today, our endocrinal levels have depleted. And why? Because our attention spans have depleted. Today, you see melodies such as impotence and infertility in the society outside. Why? Because our chakras are not in balance. We don't feed our children, we show our children. In the morning, when a young mother wakes up the child, she says, darling, come here, sit down and I'll show you a screen, and you watch the screen while I feed you. As much as we think that the child is eating food, the child is only consuming content. So what is it that we are creating? We are only creating consumers. Where are we creating creators? India, by the construct of her own economy, which has done phenomenally well under the current stewardship of Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, has a lot of miles to go before it can actually stand up and claim its own place under the sun. And why? We are a $3 trillion economy, which is, let's say, growing at about 7% annually. That is about $210 billion that will get added to the economy. Of that 210 billion, 90% is expected to go into cement, steel, concrete, FMCG, white goods, grey goods, hotels, airports, and infrastructure. Only 10% will probably go into HR budget, let us say. $210 billion, 10% of that into the HR budget means $21 billion available for the HR budget. Out of that also, you'll have to split that into two parts. One, for those that are already employed and will also expect increments because that will go with the GDP increase. Two, those people that are not employed. So there are only $10 billion available for fresh hiring, and there are 10 million graduates hitting the streets every year. If every graduate were to get a job, it would be worth $1,000. Hame naukri chahiye, hame kahan hai naukri? The economy is not in a position to create naukri. We are today, NIRF is yelling about it and they're talking about it, and we've gone ahead and created a tool that blends in with NIRF, and all we are saying is this, that hey, it is possible to convert grass into cheese. You can convert grass into cheese. All you want to bring in is a cow. And we became that cow. So to end this long story, and of course, I would love to interact with any of these or n number of these eminent other personalities here, and I'm available to you, Raghavji, for any interaction with anybody. Suffice to say that I have been to Gujarat, I've been to nearly all the universities in Gujarat. I have been to Tamil Nadu, I've been to Andhra Pradesh, I've been to Karnataka, I've been to also gone to one or two universities in Himachal and in Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, etc. We've gone. I've gone to Manipur. Manipur has also adopted our syllabus, and they are now sort of teaching up students on all that. So I'm happy to see how it is that we can go ahead and help stabilize the minds of the learners before anything can actually be taught to them. The story that comes to my mind is that of Arjuna during Matsya Bhed. So he has to go for this archery competition where the hand of Draupadi is offered, and he takes Lord Krishna along. And he asks Krishna, he says, hey Krishna, what am I supposed to do? So Krishna says, very simple. You have been trained by a master Guru Dronacharya. And all of you all are here are gurus. Unfortunately, all that we are teaching is not happening what happened to Arjuna. But he says, you've been trained by the master Guru. And all of us are, all of you all esteemed panelists are gurus in your own right. He says, take one step forward, take one step back, raise the bow above your head, put the arrow upon the bowstring, stretch it, look down upon the eye of the fish and let the arrow fly, and you will get the eye of the fish. So Arjuna promptly keeps the bow and the arrow aside, and he says, Lord Krishna, if this is something that I'm supposed to do, what is it that you're going to do? And he said, well, all I'm going to do is to just make sure that the surface of the water is still. Allow me to finish here by saying merely this, that till such time as the surface of the water on the minds of the students is not still, the left side brain and the right side brain is like a bunch of jumping frogs, and you will never be able to weigh them. We might think that we are doing yeoman service to the students and to the academic culture in this country per se, but there is an imperialism of the mind that needs to be fought with today. The demon is in the mind. It is not visible, but all of us are distressed about it. There are families that are breaking up. 2 days ago, there were 3 suicides that happened in Kota. What is all this happening? People are more under shock than they are under grief. On the same timeline, they're saying RIP. On the same timeline, they're saying wow. On the same timeline, they're saying congratulations. Their emotions have been replaced by emoticons. When that happens, their entire endocrinal system goes to sleep because their serotonin does not happen. Their oxytocin doesn't happen. Their dopamine doesn't happen. And all these elements of theirs have gone off to sleep. It is to that effect that we went ahead and created the app. And thank you very much, Raghavji, for considering us. I owe it to all the students that I shall be serving and all the various eminent vice chancellors and principals who would like to invite us. I would love to come to your campus. All I want is just your hospitality. Allow me to travel to your destination. Give me a place to stay. And I would love to stay even in a choti si kotia. It doesn't really matter. But as long as I can help you ensure that the minds of the students become rich, I'm happy to serve you all. With those few words, thank you very much. This is all about making sure that the waters in the mind are still. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. You have really brought about the innate yogic genius of India, which actually attracted scholars and savants from all across the globe to acquire this yogic genius, and other academic disciplines are just subsidiary. As sir said, that stilling the water of the mind is the first predominant exercise to do. Thank you so much for your such a power-packed exhortation and a lot of learnings from there. Turning from outwards to inwards, that has been the core of the Indian education system by all savants who have talked about it. Thank you so much. Now we are entering into another category of eduINDIA acclamations, whereby we posed upon this challenge and we said that today, like Sardar unified 562 princely states. There was a British India and there were 562 princely states which he unified with the Union of India. Today we have around 672 districts in this vast nation of 32 lakh square kilometers. And we asked upon a question that as an educational institution, if India has to really become, if India has to really reclaim, we are saying reclaim, if India has to, I will request to mute. If India has to really reclaim its preeminent position as the global edu destination, it shall happen one institution at a time. And we have with us a very handful of very eminent institutions who took on initiative. Please mute. So we threw a challenge. We asked upon the educational institutions, both K-12 and the higher education ones, that where do you fare? Have you become synonymous with the edu destination in which you are located? And that challenge was really taken up to our utter surprise, to our utter elation, that very many institutions are working towards it and they truly have become synonymous with the brand of the edu destination in which they are located. So the first and the foremost, we would really like to felicitate the Bal Bharti Public School Pitampura, which has become synonymous to the brand of the edu destination Pitampura, Delhi, which is quite evident from the prolonged submission which we received from their part. We request
led by Honorable Principal Madam Meenu Goswami. I think we have Kajal Sajdeva Madam, the faculty coordinator from Bal Bharti Public School with us. Kajal ma'am, you are there with us?
So please accept this token tribute from this August forum and also illuminate us more about the work you are doing at Bal Bharti.
Good evening, everyone. I am here on behalf of Bal Bharti Public School. Mrs. Meenu Goswami, our revered principal, she would have loved to attend this ceremony, but due to some prior engagement, she could not be here. Am I audible to you?
Very much, ma'am, loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. So we are extremely honored and grateful for you having bestowing this honor upon our principal and our esteemed institution. Regarding Bal Bharti Public School, Pitampura, I would like to share that it is a happy blend of modern technology and traditional values, developing global citizens. So widely known for its futuristic vision, coupled with path-breaking initiatives to rediscover the classrooms of tomorrow, the institution focuses on preparing the next generation to thrive and compete in the new digital and hybrid age. Thus, there is much emphasis on multidisciplinary methodologies, digital literacy, written communication, problem solving, logical reasoning, and I would say vocational experiences and exposure. The school brings together differentiated pedagogies and technologies to augment the quality of the teaching learning process. Not only this, while we work tirelessly to make the learning environment safer and happier for our children, the school has been attaining newer heights under the able leadership of the stalwarts who have sagaciously nurtured the institution and laid a strong foundation for the future generations. Under the guidance of Mrs. Meenu Goswami, the charismatic and inspiring principal of BBPS Pitampura, the school has established itself as an institution of illustrious repute and is following the path of sublime growth. I once again thank you for bestowing this honor upon us, and we are extremely thankful, and it has been wonderful listening to such esteemed people. It has been really such a learning experience listening to all these people who have garnered so much wisdom over the years, and they have been sharing all that with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And just for further clarification, what we intended to do by this eduINDIA campaign, like the moment you hear about Pitampura, Delhi, So becoming synonymous with the brand Pitampura means that, there is a Bal Bharati school over there. So the school is doing a phenomenal work in raising the larger community awareness about Pitampura per se. For example, if we talk about Kharagpur, the small hamlet, small town in the state of West Bengal, we automatically get a hang of, there is an IIT Kharagpur over there. So this is the spirit with which we are saying that these educational institutions are taking that leap of faith and making their very own edu destinations. For example, the Delhi Public School RK Puram. The moment you talk about RK Puram, there is a DPS RK Puram out there. So that is the spirit with which we are inviting the educational institutions to come forward and stand for brand Edu India. So thank you, Bal Bharati School, for having risen to this occasion and over here. So we welcome Professor Desai, who has joined us right away. And I was just giving the example, our eminent professor back at IIT Kharagpur, and Professor Desai has now taken over the directorship of IIT Dharwad. I would just come to his felicitation in a while. We would move on to the next.
ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಗಂಟೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ, 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಂಬರ್
Okay, so our next, we would like to felicitate the St. Mark's Senior Secondary Public School, Mirabad, with this Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel EduIndia Acclamation 2022. St. Mark's Senior Secondary Public School has truly become synonymous with the brand of edu destination Mirabad, Delhi. The moment you hear about Mirabad, Delhi, the name of St. Mark's Senior Secondary School comes automatically. This is the kind of pride of place which this school has brought about, and they are doing phenomenal work in internationalizing education.
Under the leadership of Madam Dr. Anjali Agarwal, Honorable Principal, St. Mark's Senior Secondary Public School.
I would request Madam Anjali Agarwal to accept this token tribute and also illumine us further over here.
Sorry. I'm Geeta Rajan. I'm representing this.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sorry. Yeah, good afternoon. Actually, ma'am couldn't make it, although she wanted to. We at St. Mark's actually are very much into the rethink, the entire concept that you have and the way you have all these mini series that keeps happening. And, we love to showcase all the kind of work that we do. Yes, coming to this particular honor, first of all, we thank you, both Mr. Raghav as well as Ms. Surabhi. Thank you so much for this honor. And when you talk about internationalization, yes, I do agree. We do a lot of, it's like a global village that you are kind of creating. It is, the world is like that. And we try, if Sardar Patel, unified the states, we are trying to unify the countries. So that's our agenda behind all this. And it's wonderful to, not only communicate with teachers, colleagues abroad, with students, and it's wonderful to actually put them all together to think, and whether it's working on SDGs or whatever it is. And yes, putting Delhi on that map, the Edu destination. Yes, this is a place where you should be visiting, and you can do so much. The city has so much to offer. The country has so much to offer. So thank you so much, both of you, Rethink India. And thanks from my principal too. Under her guidance, yes, of course, we get a lot of support that helps us to think on these lines, and Rethink actually helps us in getting further motivated to do much more. So thank you once again for this honor.
Thanks a lot, madam. And for all our pleasing principals whom we will be felicitating just a short while from now, St. Mark's Senior Secondary School, and especially Madam Geeta Rajan, is the go-to person. If you are really serious about internationalizing your education, the kind of fabulous experiments, the fabulous intertwining which St. Mark's does with schools across the globe, the kind of a plethora of activities which are out there, it's truly mind-boggling. And Ano Bhadra Kratvo Yantu Vishwataha, the Rig Vedic aphorism which we used to have, let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. It is in that spirit. This very school is quite, I would say, outlier amidst the entire class of it all. I would come to Professor Desai in a short while, and we have a higher education institution, the Shiksha Anusandhan University, the deemed to be university, situated just, I would say, neighborhood of Jai Jagannath, the Lord of the World, in Bhubaneswar. And they are being bestowed upon this honor of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel eduINDIA acclamation for having risen, for having become synonymous to the brand of edu destination Bhubaneswar. We started off in 2014. There was a lot of talk about smart cities, but we says before the smart cities, if they have to really become smart, they have to become edu destinations. And Bhubaneswar is one of that very, very smart edu destinations, led by a prolific University of Shiksha Anusandhan, and their elaborate submission across these parameters and the kind of Indic knowledge systems which they have championed, the kind of heritage of Odisha which they have intertwined, which they have imbibed into their academic programs, the kind of scholarships they are giving up to the neighboring countries, inviting them all over again to the land of Jagannath. It is truly mind-boggling, and we have with us
Professor Nachiketa Sharma
to accept this token tribute and also talk a bit more about the phenomenal eduINDIA experimentations which are going on in this lovely campus situated in the, I would say, close to Lord Jagannath.
Thank you, Raghavji and Surbhiji. I am really touched by the kind of honor that you have bestowed upon our university. On behalf of our founder president, Professor Manoj Ranjan Nayak, I am expressing our deepest gratitude to eduINDIA and both of you. As you have rightly said, we have championed the cause of Swadese Pujyate Raja Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. So the university is a multidimensional, multidisciplinary university. It started in 2007, and since the inception of the National Institutional Ranking Framework from 2016, this university is consistently #1 in Odisha, and we are in the 25 brackets. This time in 2022, our All India ranking is 16th best university in India. And as you have rightly pointed out, we have a very flourishing center of Indian knowledge system. As you know, India is well known for Siddhantic astronomy, starting from Aryabhatta, Baraha, Mihira. And here in Odisha, we have the celebrated Siddhantic, probably the last exponent of Siddhantic astronomy, Pathani Samanta, and in whose honor there is a Pathani Samanta planetarium. And the Indian knowledge system under Ministry of Education is kind enough in giving us a project where 2 research scholars are presently working on miniaturization of Siddhantic astronomical instruments. Once this project will be successful, this will revolutionize Siddhantic astronomy in all schools of India, because once you can keep the astronomical instruments into a geometrical box with the same kind of efficiency, then I think we can produce numerous number of naked eye astronomers, for which we are actually famous for. As you have known, that C.V. Raman's Nobel Prize experiment only cost 200 rupees. So it is not the instruments, it is not big laboratory, it is not big kind of equipments. Ultimately, it boils down to the kind of the originality of our idea, which will make us, which will actually allow us to have a footprint not only in science and technology, but in our lost glory of our cultures and our ethos. And we have also introduced digitizations of ancient literature, and we have trained students from Uganda, because our objective is to make them familiar with Indian knowledge system, so that once they will go back to their country, they will become Vidya Bharidhi, or our ambassadors of Indian knowledge system in their respective countries. And as you have very rightly introduced in your beginning, that this is the land of Jagannath, the Lord of the whole universe, the whole world. And as this is also situated, Bhubaneswar is situated in the golden triangle of Buddhist ancient culture. So we are also trying to introduce niche courses in Buddhist studies in Jagannath culture, and India and Odisha is home to more than 44 tribes. So, and more than 60% populations of Odisha is tribal. So the tribal studies will also be introduced. So I think, and Pattachitra. So maybe physics, chemistry, the European students may not come to read here, but the kind of niche courses that I am talking of, when those niche courses will be introduced, like Jagannath culture, Pattachitra, Sambalpuri Bastra, or Jagannath culture and tradition studies, Buddhist studies, definitely students will be coming from all parts of India to study those things in the land of Jagannath. And I was also listening to Yogesh Yogi Kocharji. He has very rightly pointed out that unless our mind is calm and quiet, I think the meditative knowledge or the wisdom cannot filter into our soul. That is one of the most important learning that our rishis and maharishis have done. So our children and our students, not only the Indian students, but the students from all parts of India must come, and they must have a meditative kind of learning, meditative kind of wisdom. They should imbibe in their spirit, and once they will go back to their countries, so definitely the idea of Swadharme, Swadese Pujyate Raja Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate, or Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that idea will be actually realized, and India as the Vishwaguru can be established definitely. I am extremely thankful, both of you, that you have started such a wonderful thing, and Bharatiya Bhasha. Another important thing of this national, this NEP 2020 is the emphasis on Bharatiya Bhasha. You will be surprised. Here, I just want to share only one or two thoughts, Madam and Raghavji, that the students who were the Odia students who were once upon a time, they were anathema to their own language. Now they have learned Odia, because in this project, they have emphasized that one can write the project in one's own language also. So this emphasis on Bharatiya Bhasha will go a long way in actually keeping us very close to our roots. With these words, again, I am extremely thankful to and grateful to all of you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thanks a lot, sir. आपने जो विद्वान की सर्वत्र प्रतिष्ठा को जो उजागर किया है, और जो कार्य शिक्षा अनुसंधान में हो रहा है, वास्तव में एक तीर्थ बन चुका है जगन्नाथ के पट क्षेत्र में। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ये मंच आपके इस उपस्थिति से बहुत ही गौरवान्वित हुआ है। Now before I come and felicitate Professor Subramanian Yadav Aditya sir, and there's a long story of felicitating President Pranab Mukherjee sir, his 83rd birth anniversary. Rethink India had the pride privilege to commemorate in the August audience of the 5th estate. 108 vice chancellors were present in that August auditorium of Civil Services Officers Institute, New Delhi, whereby they bestowed upon the president, the 13th president of India, as the education president. I would go back a bit, because we have been joined in by Professor Desai, Professor Venkapaya Desai. My personal connection, he was my professor back at IIT Kharagpur. And Professor Desai, a very avid professor of civil engineering, more than his RCC was of nationalistic virtues. And as I told earlier, that he used to carry a 10 rupee note in his upper pocket to sensitize we youngsters right on the corridors of the campus. कि तुमको पता है कि भारत में जो भाषाएं हैं उनके बारे में आपको पता है क्या? Google was not that very profound even in that 2001-2004 era. And he used to just teach us from that simple 10 rupee note that these are the languages which are out there. And in essence, Professor Desai was the insignia of the motto on the main building of IIT Kharagpur, dedicated to the service of nation. So not just Professor Desai, he rose to that, but he instilled those very virtues and values in his very students. And today from this August Forum, we have this great honor and privilege to have Professor Desai to accept this token tribute for having instilled the nationalistic foundations of his students on a sustained basis in a subtle but substantive manner, inspiring and instigating them to dedicate themselves to the service of the nation. So a true Acharya, जिन्होंने आचरण करके हमको वो values दी, तो आज हम उनको नमस्कार करते हुए उनके चरण कमलों में I would request Professor Desai to accept this token tribute and also bless us with his exhortation on this momentous occasion. Professor Desai.
So you have to unmute yourself.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Sir.
तो सबको सुनाई दे रहा है?
Sir, loud and clear, sir.
सभी की अनुमति से मैं हिंदी में, संस्कृतमय हिंदी में मैं बोलने की प्रयास करूंगा. If anybody has any difficulty in understanding, you please just give me a chat message. Then I will go back for the sake of that person. So I can go back to English at any moment. ठीक है. With this मैं एक ये जो राघव मित्तल जी एवं डॉक्टर सुरभि वैश्य मित्तल जी एक सत परंपरा के आरंभ किया है, शुभारंभ किया है, तो इसका ये करते हुए, इसका श्लाघन करते हुए मैं आगे यजुर्वेद शांति मंत्र से आरंभ करूंगा, क्योंकि मैं खड़गपुर आईआईटी में 27 वर्ष 27 इयर्स मैंने वहाँ मेरा मतलब दायित्व निभाने का, फैकल्टी या आचार्य कहिए जो भी, उसका दायित्व निभाने का सौभाग्य मेरा रहा. वहाँ मैं 20 वर्ष से अधिक इंटीग्रेटेड वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट, ऐसे एक एमटेक विद्यार्थियों के लिए, कुछ पीएचडी विद्यार्थियों के लिए, कुछ एमएस विद्यार्थियों के लिए पढ़ने का मेरा सौभाग्य रहा. तो उसमें जैसे इंटीग्रेटेड वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट है, तो संयुक्त जल प्रबंधन ऐसे बोल सकते हैं, या संयुक्त या संपूर्ण या ऐसे कोई भी इंटीग्रेटेड जो है. तो उसमें मैं पहला मेरा उपन्यास, पहला लेक्चर रहता था, उसमें मैं 3 विषय, हम जो है 3 विषयों का कॉन्जर्वेशन या संरक्षण करना पड़ता है. 3 बेसिकली मूलतः वो है हमारे स्वाभाविक या प्राकृतिक संपदा. उसमें ये आते हैं सॉइल, वाटर, वेजिटेशन. तो उसके लिए उसको मैं हमेशा, मेरा प्रयास रहा है जो हमारे पुरातन भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा को आधुनिक विज्ञान के साथ जोड़ने का मेरा प्रयास रहा है. तो यजुर्वेद शांति मंत्र में शांति शब्द का 14 बार 14 टाइम्स उल्लेख होता है. उसमें 3 जो है, एक विशेष बात यह है, जिस क्रम में हम इसको पढ़ाते हैं, कोई भी, मैं हूं या कोई भी एक वाटर रिसोर्सेस के अध्यापक पढ़ाते हैं, सॉइल कंजर्वेशन, वाटर कंजर्वेशन, वेजिटेशन कंजर्वेशन, अर्थात भू संरक्षण, जल संरक्षण एवं वृक्ष संरक्षण. तो इसी को यजुर्वेद में पृथ्वी शांति, आप शांति, औषधय शांति, ऐसे इसी क्रम में उल्लेख किया है. ये हमको ये जो है शांति अर्थात इक्विलिब्रियम या कंजर्वेशन, इसका ये जो है प्रतीक है, द्योतक है. तो ऐसे यजुर्वेद का शांति मंत्र. इसलिए हमको कुछ नहीं करना है, एक ही जो है, जहां जहां हमारा इंग्लिश का प्रयोग कर रहे हैं, इंग्लिश के स्थान में हम या संस्कृत से या संस्कृतमय कोई भारतीय भाषा से उसको परिवर्तित, उसको ये करना है. उसमें के जो है उससे ये करना, इंग्लिश के स्थान पर हम या संस्कृत को या संस्कृत में अन्य कोई भारतीय भाषा का उपयोग करना है, व्यवहार करना है। यही इससे अधिक कुछ नहीं, इससे कम भी कुछ नहीं। तो तब भी क्योंकि हमें देखे दुर्भाग्य से हमारे बहुत सारे लोगों का हमारे दिन गुड मॉर्निंग से शुरू होता है और समाप्त होता है गुड नाइट से। या गुड मॉर्निंग, मैं इंग्लिश भाषा के विरोध में नहीं हूँ, कोई भी मेरा गलत अभिप्राय मत निकालिए। तो जब हमारी भाषा में शब्द है तो हम इंग्लिश के केवल कम्युनिकेशन के लिए निश्चित रूप से हम इंग्लिश के जो लेंगे, इंग्लिश के सहारा लेंगे। लेकिन गुड मॉर्निंग के जगह सुप्रभात बोल सकते हैं। सु का अर्थ गुड होता है, प्रभात का अर्थ मॉर्निंग होता है। गुड नाइट का ये जो है शुभ रात्रि, शुभ रात्रि जो है कि अर्थ गुड नाइट ही होता है। तो ऐसे ये छोटे मोटे इससे हम हमारी भाषा को ये करना है, एक्चुअली हमारे भाषा को रक्षा करना है, संरक्षण करना है, हमारी परंपरा को रक्षा करना है। क्योंकि ये क्या है, हम अगर हम हमारे दाहिने हाथ को हमारे सामने रखा तो पंच भाषा का ये जो आता है, तो उसमें जो है छोटी उंगली जो जिसको संस्कृत में कनिष्ठिका बोलते हैं, लिटिल फिंगर, वो है हमारी मातृभाषा। क्योंकि माता हमेशा छोटी उंगली से उसकी शिशु को चलना सिखाती है। और उसके बगल में है जो क्षेत्र भाषा, वो जो है मातृभाषा, क्षेत्र भाषा। क्षेत्र भाषा हम जिस क्षेत्र में है वहां के क्षेत्रीय भाषा, रीजनल लैंग्वेज जैसे। और ये जो है उसके बीच में ये जो सर्व उन्नत उंगली जो है मध्यमा, संस्कृत में मध्यमा, ये जो है एक इसको हम देश बाहुल्य भाषा ऐसे बोल सकते हैं, जो हमारे देश में हिंदी है। या नहीं तो कुछ लोग, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ क्या हुआ है, कुछ लोग देश को जो थोड़ा मैकॉले कहाँ भी हो, बहुत जो आनंदित व्यक्ति होंगे अभी, क्योंकि 188 वर्ष हो गए, 187 ईयर्स। 1835 में मैकॉले ने ये किया और 13 वर्ष में मैकॉले का जो प्रणाली जो शुरू किया उसका द्विशत वर्ष होने वाला, सहस्र नहीं 200 ईयर्स होने वाला है। मैकॉले को बहुत आनंद हुआ होगा, कहीं भी हो वो क्या किस रूप में हो, तो उसको बहुत आनंद, क्योंकि हम उसके चक्कर में पड़ गए। उसके जो उन्होंने जाल हमारे लिए बिछाया था, हम उसके पूरा शरण में आ गए, लगभग पूरा नहीं, लगभग पूरा शरण में आ गए। तो इसलिए ये जो है देश बाहुल्य भाषा जो हिंदी, तो जब मैं हिंदी बोलता हूँ तब मैं खड़गपुर IIT में मेरा एक सौभाग्य रहा कि मैं एकमेव नॉन हिंदी भाषी राजभाषा विभाग के अध्यक्ष रहा हूँ। तो मैं हमेशा मेरे हिंदी भाषी मित्रों से मैं एक प्रश्न पूछता था, आप हिंदी का द्वेष निर्माण करना चाहते हैं या प्रेम निर्माण करना चाहते हैं? अगर आप हिंदी का प्रेम निर्माण करना चाहते हैं तो आपको हिंदी में जो उर्दू, पर्शियन, अरेबिक शब्द है, छोटे मोटे शब्द, क्या फायदा, क्या लाभ, ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते हम। क्या उम्र कितना है, क्या आयु कितना है, वयस कितना है, क्या तबीयत कैसे है, उसके जगह क्या स्वास्थ्य कैसे है, ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते। क्योंकि जब हम हिंदी को संस्कृतमय करेंगे तब हम ईशान्य भारत या पूर्वोत्तर भारत, पूर्वी भारत, दक्षिण भारत, पश्चिम भारत, मध्य भारत, इसके समीप आएंगे। यदि हम इसके जगह हमारे अभ्यास के कारण या हमारे इसके कारण हम जो है उर्दू या पर्शियन, अरेबिक शब्द करने से हम पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, ये जो है इसके पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, इराक, ईरान, सऊदी अरेबिया, कुवैत, UAE, इजिप्ट, जो उसके समीप हो जाएंगे। जैसे हम उसके समीप हो जाएंगे, हम ये जो है ये सब ईशान्य भारत या पूर्वोत्तर भारत, पूर्वी भारत, दक्षिण भारत, पश्चिम भारत, मध्य भारत से दूर हो जाएंगे। तो हिंदी का द्वेष के अला प्रेम तो कैसे निर्माण होगा, हिंदी का द्वेष ही निर्माण होगा। तो ये इसको मेरी हिंदी भाषियों से मेरा जो है मेरा बहुत जो है क्या मेरा हृदयपूर्व मेरा अनुरोध है। तो क्योंकि हम हमारे जो भी भाषा है उसको संस्कृतमय करने से, जैसे मान लीजिए मैं कन्नड़ भाषी हूँ, अगर मैं कन्नड़ को संस्कृतमय कन्नड़ किया, अगर हिंदी भाषी उनकी भाषा को संस्कृतमय हिंदी किया, उड़िया भाषी उनकी भाषा को संस्कृतमय उड़िया किया, तो हम एक भाषा से दूसरे भाषा में ये जो करना है, ये जो ट्रांसलेशन कहिए, भाषांतर कहिए, लिप्यांतर कहिए, वो बहुत सरल होगा, बहुत सुलभ होगा। तो उसमें क्या आएगी एक्चुअली, जैसे हर एक के तीन ये जो है, सरलता, शुद्धता, स्पष्टता, सरलता सिंप्लिसिटी, शुद्धता प्यूरिटी, स्पष्टता क्लैरिटी, ये सब आएगी, ये संस्कृत की विशेषता है। तो ये सब हमारे भाषा में भी आएगी। और उसके साथ में जो है ये तो इसलिए देश बाहुल्य भाषा, तो मैं बोलूंगा कि हिंदी नहीं, संस्कृत में हिंदी। और दूसरा जो है ये जो है हमारे तर्जनी, ये जो है विश्व बाहुल्य भाषा, वो निश्चित रूप से आंग्ल भाषा है, उसको भी जो स्थान मिलना है मिलना ही है। तो इसलिए हम, लेकिन इसके कारण हम बाकी भाषाओं का ये जो है क्या अलक्ष्य नहीं करना। और पांचवी जो है थंब इम्प्रेशन जो बोलते हैं, छोटा मोटा तगड़ा, ये है हमारे गणेश का प्रतीक या संस्कृत। हाँ, तो इसलिए उस संस्कृत में जो भी है उसका जो शब्द सर्वन्यून शब्द, अक्षर, शब्द या वाक्यों में सर्वाधिक अर्थ को हम संस्कृत के माध्यम से हम जो है इसको कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं। इसलिए ये जो है मातृभाषा, क्षेत्र भाषा, देश बाहुल्य भाषा, विश्व बाहुल्य भाषा और प्रमातृ भाषा। तो देश बाहुल्य, विश्व बाहुल्य मतलब हिंदी, संस्कृत में हिंदी एवं इंग्लिश, आंग्ल भाषा, एवं प्रमातृभाषा अर्थात मातृभाषाओं की माता वो है संस्कृत। तो इसलिए ये हमको इस पर ध्यान देना है। तो हमारी नई शिक्षा नीति में भी इसी के ऊपर बल दिया है, ध्यान जो इसी के ऊपर ही दिया है। और इसके साथ मैं थोड़ा ये करके मैं मेरा जो है जल चक्र, मैं वाटर रिसोर्सेस में हूँ, जैसे जल चक्र, वाटर साइकिल, हम विद्यालयों में वाटर साइकिल इस टर्मिनोलॉजी से इसका अध्ययन करते हैं। जब हम कॉलेज महाविद्यालय में आते हैं उसी को हाइड्रोलॉजिक साइकिल ऐसे बोलते हैं। तो उसमें क्या है, एक चक्र है, इसमें आधा चक्र अधोगामी है, आधा चक्र ऊर्ध्वगामी। इसके लिए मैं एक श्लोक के अर्ध भाग अर्थात एक पंक्ति इसका उल्लेख करना चाहूंगा। अधोगामी जल चक्रार्ध के लिए क्या है, हम सब जानते हैं, आकाशात पतितम तोयम सागरम प्रतिगच्छति। जो आकाश से गिरा हुआ जो है पतित हुआ तोय अर्थात जल सागर को वापस जाएगी, प्रतिगच्छति। तो ये जो है एक श्लोकार्ध है। और उसके बाद दूसरी पंक्ति है, जो सर्वदेव नमस्कार जो बोलते हैं, तो उसके इसमें नहीं जाएंगे हम, क्योंकि हम तो विज्ञान के से ये करेंगे। और ऊर्ध्वगामी ये जो है जल चक्र के अर्ध है, जल चक्रार्ध है, तो अपवर्ड जो है, तो उसके लिए भगवत गीता के 9वें अध्याय के 19वें श्लोक के प्रथम पंक्ति, तपामि अहम वर्षम निग्रहणामि उत्सृजामि च। तपामि अर्थात मैं अपने आप को टेम्परेचर या हीट करूंगा। जो है टेम्परेचर भी तप शब्द से ही आया है। अहम अर्थात मैं, कृष्ण अर्जुन को बोलता है, ये जो है वर्षम निग्रहणामि अर्थात मैं ये जो है जल को निग्रहण अर्थात उसको आकर्षित करूंगा मेरे। कैसे है, दो तरह के जो मेघ होते हैं, एक है श्वेत मेघ, व्हाइट क्लाउड, और वो लघु मेघ भी होता है, क्योंकि बहुत जो लघु होता है उसका डेंसिटी बहुत कम होता है। तो इसी के कारण वो जो हमें रुई के जैसे, ये कॉटन के जैसे रहता है, उसका आकार भी हर क्षण परिवर्तित होते रहता है। और तीसरा उसका लक्षण है, इट इज इलेक्ट्रिकली चार्ज्ड। तो वहां वाटर इन प्लाज्मा स्टेट, ऐसे ये जो है, तो ये जो हीटेड जो तपामी तप हुआ है, जो जल को आकर्षित करके तो अंतिम उसमें श्वेत मेघ से वो जो श्यामल वर्ण का मेघ हो जाएगा, फ्रॉम व्हाइट क्लाउड टू ए डार्क क्लाउड। लघु मेघ से वो भारी मेघ हो जाएगा, तो उसका डेंसिटी सांद्रता बढ़ जाएगी। और तीसरा जो है इलेक्ट्रिकली चार्ज से इलेक्ट्रिकली न्यूट्रल बन जाएगी। तत्पश्चात उत्सृजामि च, सृजन सृष्टि अर्थात क्रिएशन, ये जो है उस किसके सृष्टि होता है? वर्षा या प्रेसिपिटेशन की सृष्टि होता है। ऐसे हम इंग्लिश में एक कहावत सुने होंगे, ए पिक्चर इज वर्थ 1000 वर्ड्स। लेकिन ये जो है ये श्लोकार्ध के कारण देखें, आकाशात पतितम तोयम सागरम प्रतिगच्छति, कितने शब्द हो गए? 5। और ये जो है तपामि अहम वर्षम निग्रहणामि उत्सृजामि च, च अर्थात ऑल्सो, ये हिंदी में भी या इंग्लिश में ऑल्सो। 5 + 6 11 शब्दों के माध्यम से ये जो है 1000 शब्दों के ये जो है एक सहस्त्र शब्दों के जो है ये जो है उसका ये जो है ये दिया है एक ये संस्कृत की महत्ता है। तो इसलिए हम संस्कृत में बात कर सके तो बहुत ये जो है कम से कम हमारी सभी भारतीय भाषाओं को हम संस्कृत में करना चाहिए। आजकल के ऐसे विद्यालय है जहां शिक्षिकाओं ने विद्यार्थियों को ये करते हैं, आप केवल इंग्लिश में बात करना। ये ऐसे एक नया रोग निर्माण हुआ है हमारे देश में। इसी के कारण मैंने बोला मैकॉले कहाँ भी हो वो बहुत खुशी होगा। मैंने जो प्लान ये जो कुयोजना किया था वो लगभग यशस्वी हो चुका है। ये जो है ये इसको हम सबको एक्चुअली करना चाहिए। हम एक नया एक अनक्षरस्थ क्लास ऑफ इलिटरेट्स हु आर इलिटरेट इन देयर ओन मदर टंग। मेरे पुत्र है वो 10 महीनों से अधिक अवधि कर्नाटक में नहीं रहा है, तो इसके पश्चात भी वो भी कभी कभी मेरे साथ कन्नड़ में व्हाट्सएप में मैसेज करता है। क्यों करता है? क्योंकि हम माता पिता या गुरुजन इसके ऊपर आग्रह देना है, आग्रह करना है। तो ये जो है और अंत में मैं एक करके जैसे एजुकेशन एक ही शब्द है जिसमें आंग्ल भाषा के 5 स्वर AEIOU एक बार आता है और उसके साथ 4 व्यंजन या कॉन्सोनेंट्स भी है। स्वर मतलब वोवेल, ये व्यंजन मतलब कॉन्सोनेंट। उसमें हम जैसे राघव जी मित्तल जो कंप्यूटर साइंस है, तो हर सिस्टम में इनपुट डोमेन, प्रोसेस डोमेन, आउटपुट डोमेन होता है। इसलिए मैं इनपुट डोमेन में 2 व्यंजनों को रखूंगा। एक है कैपेबिलिटी जो C से शुरू होता है और दूसरा जो है टाइम। कोई भी इसके लिए हमको समय देना पड़ता है। ये दोनों इनपुट डोमेन में। और प्रोसेस डोमेन में 5 स्वर या वोवेल्स को रखेंगे। ए अर्थात एजिलिटी का प्रतीक है। ई अर्थात एक्सेलेंस का प्रतीक है या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप भी बोल सकते हैं। आई अर्थात इनोवेशन। ओ अर्थात आउटस्टैंडिंग नेचर, आउटस्टैंडिंग जो है। यू अर्थात यूनिसन। हम जो है जीवात्मा का परमात्मा के साथ एक्चुअली ये होना चाहिए। जैसे जीवात्मा परमात्मा J to P, उसके बाद P to B पिंड से ब्रह्मांड, उसके बाद B to S बिंदु से सिंधु, J to B, B to S और S to जो है जीवात्मा परमात्मा पिंड ब्रह्मांड, P to B और बिंदु सिंधु ड्रॉप टू ओशन। ऐसे एक्चुअली इसका करना है। इसके कारण आउटपुट डोमेन में क्या आएगा? एक है डिस्टिंक्शन, हम तो बाकी लोगों से अलग हो जाएंगे। तो इसके साथ भी नॉर्मल से हमारे अंदर कोई ये जो है अहंकार ये सब नहीं आएगा। हम सबके साथ, बाकी जो है हमारे सामने जो व्यक्ति है वो जो है दरिद्र हो सकता है, वो तो अशिक्षित या अल्प शिक्षित हो सकता है, उनके साथ भी, उनके इसमें भी जीवात्मा या परमात्मा के अंश है। इसलिए ये सब करके हम उनके साथ भी ये जो है व्यवहार अच्छे सच्चे व्यवहार कर सकते हैं, उनके इसमें भी ये कर सकते हैं। ऐसे करके एक छोटा ये करके मुझे ये एक दिया, तो एक मौका या सुसंधि दिया। इसलिए मैं मेरा धन्यवाद आभार करते हुए मेरे वाणी को विराम दूंगा। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर, आपने इतने गूढ़ और गुह्य तत्वों को इतने सूक्ष्म सारांश रूप में प्रस्तुत किया। यही प्रोफेसर देसाई की आई वुड से दिस इज द प्रेसिडेंस ऑफ इट ऑल। और आपने जो कहा कि पंच भाषाओं का जो आधिपत्य हमें रखना है, मातृभाषा, क्षेत्रीय भाषा, देश बाहुल्य भाषा और विश्व बाहुल्य भाषा, और जो संस्कृत निष्ठ जो हमारी मातृभाषा की जो मूल भाषा है, हम सभी
मातृभाषा
जी प्रमातृभाषा। और आपके संज्ञान के लिए कि पिछले कुछ वर्षों से हम लोग सरदार पटेल जी के ही नाम से सरदार पटेल भारतीय भाषा भूषण नाम की एक प्रक्रिया चलाते हैं, जिसके माध्यम से हम शिक्षण संस्थानों से आग्रह करते हैं कि आपके जो आचार्य प्रवर्ग हैं वो 22 भारतीय भाषाओं में उनकी जो निपुणता है, मौखिक और सुनकर समझना और बोलकर समझाना और पढ़कर समझना और लिखकर समझाना, ये जो चारों विधान हैं, इनमें किस किस प्रकार की उनकी पारंगतता है, तो वो हम विश्व इंटरनेशनल मदर लैंग्वेज डे पर उसका उल्लंघन करते हैं। क्योंकि भारत का जो एकीकृतकरण है, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ इंडिया, वो भाषाओं से, भाषाओं की समृद्धि से और भाषाओं में जो भाव अभिव्यक्त होता है, द कॉम्प्लेक्स वाटर साइकिल, द ब्यूटीफुल वे विद विच द 11 word shloka Professor Desai enunciated, I think that is the lead motive of it all, कि हम अपनी संस्कृत प्रमातृ भाषा के माध्यम से गूढ़ और गुह्य तत्वों को, and that is why भारत used to be the विश्व गुरु। हमारे पास जो विज्ञान का जो अनुसंधान होता था, प्रोफेसर पीबी शर्मा talks about प्रज्ञान as well in his various talks। तो आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपको बहुत बहुत प्रणाम। आपके आने से यह मंच गौरवान्वित हुआ और हम आपको इस छोटे से एक ट्रिब्यूट से हम आपको नवाज सके। अगेन आई एम यूजिंग अ पर्शियन वर्ड, वी हैव टू बिकम, सो वेरी मेनी थैंक्स प्रोफेसर देसाई coming from IIT Dharwad, taking out his precious time from his extremely busy schedule. Moving forward for the next lap of this commemoration, today is also we have juxtaposed the 5th Estate Summit, which we started commemorating on 11th of December every year, marking the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna Pranab Mukherjee, the 13th President of the Republic of India. He used to, and we had the great good fortune to bestow him the title of the Education President in the August presence of 108 Honorable Vice Chancellors, Kulpati of Bharatvarsh. Professor Pranab Mukherjee used to say that our oldest scriptures laid the framework of society around the pillars of knowledge, and our challenge is to convert knowledge into a democratic force. And today, in this second part of the commemoration, we had the great good fortune of bestowing the title of Visionary Vice Chancellors from across the country. And today, we have with us Professor P. Subramania Yadav Aditya sir, to be recognized as the Visionary Vice Chancellor for the year 2022. And we try to paraphrase the entire term of being a visionary. Being a visionary means you are an inspirational personality. You are an emotionally intelligent personality. You are open-minded. You are imaginative. You are resolute. You are persistent. You are collaborative. You are bold. You are magnetic, and you are optimistic. And Professor Yadav Aditya sir, he has exhorted these all virtues in all its majestic splendor. And from this August forum, we would really like to confer upon this token tribute to Professor Yadav Aditya sir. I would request him to please accept this token tribute and also illumine us on this very momentous day, sir.
So could you kindly switch on the camera and unmute yourself, sir? Professor P. Subramania Yadav Aditya is with us. We wish to hear your exhortation, sir.
Okay, we'll move forward and we'll come back as soon as Professor Subramania joins us back. We had a very interesting, we have been felicitating the progressive principals from across the country for quite a while. This year, we thought of expanding the narrative, and we threw up a challenge, and every time we had the self-nomination format. This time we said that let the faculty members and the parents of the students studying in those campuses, they come forward and endorse their very principles over there, and we came up with the title of Pleasing Principles. There was initially a bit of a hesitation, and some of our very eminent principals, they said the term pleasing is looking a bit cheeky, but we submitted to them that no, we brought about a framework around the facet of being a pleasing principal. If you're a pleasing personality, you have a great attitude. You are deeply humble. You have humility with you. You are considerate of others. You have a profound sense of humor, and you are genuinely interested in others. It's not just a fakery which happens here. You're really genuinely interested in others, and that's what a principle is all about. And you have tolerance for others. You can listen to the other person, and that's what tolerance means. And finally, you do have a very clean mouth. So with these parameters, we asked upon our honorable principals to let their faculty members and let their parents, and we just put forth, okay, come with 3 to 5 faculty and 3 to 5 parents to endorse you, to rate you on all these parameters, and also give anecdotal evidences about the prevalence of these very virtues in each one of you. And to our utter astonishment, the kind of response which we have received from the nook and cranny of this country, and we have an outlier in front of us on this screen, Dr. Priya Rajwade ma'am. You can see, and we just could not stop our temptation from putting the names of each of those endorsing faculty members and parents on these very citations. See, public representatives have to go to vote every 5 years and seek the endorsement. But in institutional space also, we have eminent luminaries like Dr. Priya Rajwade, who went out, who just circulated that message to the entire faculty members, and she ensured that they come forward. And we had the provision that no single endorsement or the kind of commentary will ever be shared with that name. So that's confidential. But still, ma'am took the courage, and I can tell you, because we have the entire data, what lovely endorsement she has received. It's a telling tale, and an entire coffee table book can be produced out of those testimonials which she has received from her faculty and parents. We have been just like a postman. We have been just like a process managers.
Absolutely, absolutely indeed. And I would like to read out a few of these anecdotes. You know, one of the faculty is mentioning about Dr. Priya Rajwade ma'am, you know, about the humility aspect, that ma'am has fostered a sense of support and appreciation for all teachers, students, and parents. Her incredible passion to listen to every small and big problem every day brings a sense of welcome and positive tone on the campus. Somebody says about the great attitude, you know, that during the COVID lockdown time of almost 2 years, which was a real test of patience and forbearance, but in spite of such an anxious situation, she was an epitome of courage and strength. In every meeting, she used to appear strong as ever. Due to her inner strength and courageous behavior, all of us felt very safe.
So we just can go on and on, because you can see the kind of, she has asked for endorsements, and it was a very confidential exercise. People could have written anything or everything about it, apart from the rating part of it, but it's a fabulous, I would say, enthralling endorsement what Dr. Priya Rajwade has received as a pleasing principal by the faculty and parents at Podar International School, Powai, Mumbai. I would request Dr. Priya Rajwade to accept this token tribute in the name of Bharat Ratna, the Education President Pranab Mukherjee, Pleasing Principal 2022, and also address this August forum. Dr. Rajwade. Okay, maybe she will be joining us in a short while.
Mitul Saab, I would like to finish off from where I left. Actually, I understand there was an inconvenience. My video went off.
Sir.
Sir, sure, sir.
Yes, sir. So I really wish to thank Rethink India, eduINDIA team to bestow late Shri Baldev Raj Mittal ji for this prestigious award. I really thank you from core of my heart, and I would share all the details with the Honorable Chancellor Dr. Ashok Mittal ji also, and maybe sir will also speak with you later on, sir. Sir, thank you very much from lovely Professional University and lovely group to honor late Shri Baldev Raj Mittal ji for this prestigious Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel eduINDIA acclamation. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. It was indeed our privilege and honor to have you over there. Moving forward on the pleasing principal frontier, we would like to honor Dr. Neeta Bali ma'am. She's the honorable head at GD Goenka Word School, Sohna, Haryana. And madam's endorsement from these chosen faculty members and principals is so very, I would say, inspiring, awe-inspiring. And it talks about her personality, her on all these 6 dimensions in a 360-degree manner. And it's really music. It's really, this is what a pleasing principal is all about.
So one of the parents say, the faculty says about the attitude, that Madam Dr. Neeta Bali ma'am always welcomes the students or parents with a warm smile and instantly starts interacting with them, and also recognizes every parent and child, which allows the ease of approachability.
So I would request Dr. Neeta Bali ma'am to accept this token tribute and also address this forum. Ma'am.
Thank you so much, both of you. And I'm happy that my faculty and my parents think that I can contribute in some humble measure to their well-being, to the children's growth, their accomplishments, and but of course that is the job of any leader in a school. And I'm really grateful that you have taken the time to read the endorsements that have been sent by the parents and by teachers. And thank you again for conferring this honor. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And I would also like to read out one more endorsement. Being genuinely interested in others. One of the anecdotal references which comes, Dr. Neeta Bali is always interested in the welfare of her team that comprises of teachers, parents, and children. In school sessions such as Vijay Divas, she praised teachers who conducted the assembly and the children who participated in the event. So this kind of appreciation, what Madam exhorts all across, this is what makes her a very pleasing principal all through. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for being with us and accepting this token tribute from this August forum. We move forward. We would like to honor, we would like to pay our humble tributes in the name of Honorable Bharat Pranab Mukherjee sir, Shri Dinesh Bartwalji, who is the Honorable Principal at Doon International School, City Campus, Dehradun. And we have received similar flowery endorsements all through from the faculty members and the parents for his being a pleasing principal at Doon International School, Dehradun.
One of the anecdotes about the humility aspect is said that Mr. Bartwal is a very humble person who knows his strengths and skills. He's very confident and polite, yet firm in his beliefs and actions, which sets him a perfect example of a person who believes in listening to other constructive opinions as well. Again, another anecdote is about Sir is in being considerate of others. Mr. Dinesh Bartwal is very considerate and kind to others. He holds a friendly relationship with his staff and treats everyone as his one big family. He believes in the true idea of a team, which means together everyone achieves more.
So I would request Bartwal sir to accept this token tribute and also address the forum. Bartwal sir. He was with us a short while. Maybe we will move forward and come back when he joins again. We have yet another very, very illustrious personality. और कहते हैं कि किसी एक का endorsement जो वो इतना गहन और व्याख्यायित हो, Rajendra Agarwal ji has summed up the entire sum and substance of Dr. Bhavna Malik. The endurance with which she serves the lovely public senior secondary school Priyadarshini Vihar, Delhi. We would request Dr. Bhavna Malik to accept this token tribute and address this forum. Dr. Bhavna Malik, ma'am. It was done. I request Dr. Surbhi to read out in the summary. Yeah. Dr. Bhavna Malik, ma'am. This is Bhavna Malik.
There's one anecdote which is about now. So educational institutions are often void of humor. We appear to be burdening our teachers and students with a slew of books, cascades of exams and assessments. About Madam is said that I recall one such instance when we were discussing hierarchic issues and an employee complained about feeling underappreciated by her superior. Dr. Bhavna simply asked the staff member to raise her right hand and pat herself on the left shoulder. When the staff member finished, she asked us all to remember this, that whenever we felt let down or unappreciated, you know, that we should really try to stick to it until, just a moment. It's about the sense of humor that we should pat our back and, you know, stick to our, whenever we are feeling let down, and the good sense of humor will dilute the usual monotony of general staff meetings. Her random repartees give us a glimpse of an interesting classroom, making us understand the importance of humor and how it can make one feel good about themselves, as well as revitalize the work, environment, and innovativeness.
So it's full of those endorsements what we have received. So we really would like to bestow upon this title of being a pleasing principal on Dr. Bhavna Malik, ma'am. Moving forward, Madam Bhavisha Hirani from Poda International School, Deolali, Nasik, one of the sites where Kumbh are organized out there from Maharashtra. Yet another pleasing principal over here. I would request Madam Bhavisha Hirani to accept this token tribute and also address this forum.
One such anecdote about Madam Bhavisha Hirani is that our principal ma'am is a great observer. She observes, and deals with different situations and people very wisely. She listens to everyone's problems, whether it's parents or staff. Madam Bhavisha Hirani is with us.
Good evening, ma'am, and thanks a lot, Rethink India and Dr. Raghav Mittal and Dr. Surabhi Mittal. You have always recognized the efforts of principals like us. It was way back in 2017 when you had awarded me with the Progressive Principal of India. And that was really a great honor at that time. And today, again, you are honoring me with this pleasing principle. Initially, even I thought how I could, extend it to my faculty and to my parents to ask them to vote for me. So even I was a bit in the thought process what to do. But when again and again I got the mails from you, I said, okay, fine, let's try it. So that's what I did. And I'm really happy to know and honored that, yes, this is what my parents and the faculty think about me. No doubt this is my duty. I'm simply doing my duty, what I do, because they are my priorities and they are my family. My parents, the students, and my faculty will always be my priority because they are like family to me. Thank you for this honor again. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Moving forward, we would like to invite Matthew KG, sir, who has been endorsed enthrallingly by his faculty and parents. And just kind of admission, just on this 4th of December, when we were commemorating the birth anniversary of R.C. Majumdar, sir, the eminent historian of the history and culture of Indian peoples, we had the great good fortune of recognizing him as a history teacher. Matthew KG, sir, is a history educator who has risen to the ranks of principal. And the kind of experiments he conducted, so this is our second occasion just in a short while. And he's truly a pleasing personality in its own respite. And Dr. Surabhi would read out from one of the endorsements.
So about sir, it says that Matthew sir strikes a perfect balance. It's about tolerance for others between courage and consideration. He has this great ability to express his feelings and convictions, balanced with the consideration for the thoughts and feelings of others. He is an advocate of humane schooling and has successfully created a symbiotic culture of mutual respect and efficacy in the campus to promote a conducive learning space for all the stakeholders. Though Matthew sir is a strict disciplinarian, the consequences in reprimanding for the misdeeds and misadventures of students and teachers are more to help us reflect and to reform than to find fault. He is against the act rather than the person involved in the act. This view enables him to be unbiased and fair while addressing such issues.
So I request Matthew KG sir to accept this to contribute and also address us more on his pleasing index. Sir.
At the outset, thank you so much, Rethink India and Dr. Raghav and Dr. Surabhi for honoring me for the second time in a couple of weeks' time. I thought I would get disqualified for this award because I was awarded in the earlier part of this month. As you said, the title of this award was a little ambiguous, the pleasing principle. Was not very sure what to do with the nomination. When I shared it with my colleagues, I find some of my colleagues in this virtual platform. Also find one of my parents and one of my students. Is it the Inchara from Inchara? Is it my student Inchara from the US?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Very, very nice to see you here. I mean, it's a wonderful platform anyway. So I just left it to my teammates to take a decision, and they got in touch with the parents, and I did not even know who are the parents with whom they got in touch because there was a number of restrictions. I mean, I at the outset would like to appreciate you for considering these factors as factors that are responsible for the success of an institution. You know, principals have always been awarded on the basis of their qualifications, their degrees, the students' performance in the examination, how many of their students reached where. I mean, the personal qualities of the principals and how does it impact, how does it influence the growth of an institution? How does these qualities of the principals, move on to the other stakeholders of the institution, and how does it transform the society? We are talking a lot about transformational leadership. We're talking a lot about organizational culture in education institutions. I feel so happy and proud that you have, at least Rethink India, decided to look at the principals from a totally different set of parameters to recognize their contributions in their respective field. And I thank you for that. Also thank my colleagues and the members of my parent community who felt that I'm worthy of being considered for this recognition. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. And as Matthew sir said, that being a pleasing principal, because we curated this framework, and it's also being a courageous principal, because getting your own endorsements in such a vivid format and where the detailed endorsements will remain confidential as to who said what, who all endorsed is one part of the story. So this is quite courageous, and this is quite in the spirit of openness, which will percolate down to the institutions. From the head of the institutions, the same endorsements can go to the faculty members, and that's what we would expand the envelope of excellence. And we are so much grateful that quite a large number of principals, they went out. And as I showed that Dr. Priya Rajwari, the outlier of it all, so many, she just ensured that every faculty member, and they have, apart from the rating, they have written about her. So this kind of exercise is so very vital and important to make, in a way, things accountable. And it starts from the top of the institution. That excellence breeds, it percolates from top to bottom. So thank you very much for all the honorable principals whom we are felicitating this evening, and on the Punyatithi of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And that's what India of the future would require, visionary and courageous principals, because this is the level, at this K-12 level, the values which are very deeply impregnated in all of us. I would like to tell that Matthew KG sir, one of his students, he mentioned his principal, Matthew KG sir was his faculty, in one of his TED Talks. So that is the kind of an impression what the pleasing principle in Matthew KG sir, what indoctrinated in that young heart. And that is what the fifth estate, which we are celebrating today, the foremost estate, the academia, which has the highest burden of nation building. It is not the politicians, it is not the bureaucrats, it is not the judges, it is not even the media per se. It is the academia, the members of the fifth estate, the movers and shakers of the fifth estate who are building the nation one student at a time. So thank you very much for coming up with this. We would also like to felicitate Piyush Punj sir, Honorable Principal at the St. Vivekanand Millennium School, HMT Township, Pinjore, the Rock Garden, Pinjore Township, who was also endorsed by his faculty members. I think we could not have him, but we are recognizing him in absentia. Florina Fernandez, ma'am, from Ram Nivas Bajaj English High School, Malad. I think she joined us a little back. Ma'am, if you are here, please accept this token tribute and also address this forum. Madam Florina Fernandez. They had a sports day, but ma'am made a point to join in. Maybe she has left again. Anyway, we really felicitate her in her absentia. She's quite well present. Her spirit is quite out here. We would also like to felicitate Raj Kumar Singhal sir from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's VM Public School, Vadodara, Gujarat. We could not get in touch with him some way or the other, but we would really like to acknowledge him as a pleasing principal 2022. We would also like to recognize Madam Anju Sharma had joined us from Riyan International School, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. I think we have Madam Anju Sharma with us.
What the faculty is saying, you know, that our principal is a gem of a person with a pleasing personality and a kind and considerate nature. She's always ready to guide and support the staff wherever required. She guides us and provides us the possible solutions to a problem or a challenge. She is an efficient leader who shows the way, knows the way, and goes the way. She's a great support and pillar for us. She deals with the parents and students so efficiently, so much so that the parents and students can approach her and discuss their grievances or issues. An effective leader, a good human being, a motherly figure for the children, and a motivating personality.
So I would also like to read one more random endorsement. With my observation, I can proudly state that ma'am thinks about others before herself. As mentioned while answering one of the previous questions too, she lends an ear to everyone and tries to come with best possible solutions to the problems. During school's events, she ensures that no teacher faces any problem and has lunch on time. It is her concern that she calls each teacher on duty personally to have lunch and then continue with the task assigned. This clearly shows that she is genuinely interested in us. A very small gesture, but how articulately, how beautifully. One of the faculty or parents who is over there, Ma'am Anju Sharma, ma'am, please accept this token tribute and also address the forum.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, a very good evening to the organizers, Dr. Surbhi, Dr. Raghav, and all the eminent dignitaries present here in this conference. So my heartfelt thanks first to Lord Almighty, and I want to thank my faculty, my parents, those who have nominated me, and of course the organizers for bestowing me with this honor of pleasing principal. In fact, I represent, I'm part of this Ryan International Group of Institutions, and under the able guidance of our founder chairman, Dr. F. Pinto, and managing director, Madam Dr. Grace Pinto, I've been following, a democratic style of leadership. And I believe that is very, very important. And as I think my faculty has also mentioned, I personally believe in this famous quote by John Maxwell that, a leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So I personally feel that we have to lead by examples. And, as a leader, we have to be empathetic. We have to be compassionate, very, very, positive. And, it's very important for us to be approachable. And I think having that humility, I think that's what, helps us to earn that respect. And I would say the love, and that trust that builds. So we have to connect well with our parents, with our, all the stakeholders, in fact, be it parents or students or teachers. So I want to thank you for this honor. And
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Moving forward, we would like to bestow this title of pleasing principal on Sister Lily Cherian, ma'am, who has been enthrallingly endorsed by faculty and parents at St. Joseph's Convent Senior Secondary School, Eidgah Hills, Bhopal. So I think, ma'am, we have Sister Lily Cherian, ma'am. Okay, we move forward. We would now like to felicitate Madam Kamala Selvaraj from Sri Ayyappa Education Center, Bangalore.
And what an anecdote, about her faculty saying that she always tries to bring out the best in the kids and teachers. As far as I've seen, she sees the comfort of her teachers, staff, and students during any program. She's kind to one and all. Personally, she's got the ability to listen to people, which quality very few have got. She's connected with each and every student. She keeps a balanced relationship with all.
So these were the tributes. I think they roll on and on. We were perusing through them all. And it was such the Acharya Devo Bhava, the Indic tradition of treating our Acharyas. And somewhere or the other, our Acharyas are truly into those illustrious shoes out there. They are truly leading that way by their own accord. So we come to the close of today's commemoration, the Punyatithi of Sardar Patel. And if we, yes, someone has just joined in. So, okay, so I think if Professor Subramania Yadupatya sir, if he has returned back, we would like to hear him as one of the visionary vice chancellors this evening, or we will then close this with a kind of whosoever is left out. I would request everyone to open up their cameras, the last people standing out here, to have a kind of a ceremonial group photograph in this digital ceremony. And we wanted to quite have a real physical one, but then the wintry season and everything. So we were just asked upon to have a digital, because digital has become more real, where everyone can join in. We saw Professor Govind Prasad Sharma, the Honorable Chairperson of National Book Trust. He could join us from his train. So we have everyone out here. So just a word of thanks from Dr. Surbhi, who has been chasing each one of you to be just part ceremonially over here. And I think we have Madam Arthi Vardhacharji. I would like, because she's not even, she's one of the participants, to just make a comment, perhaps her observations, because that would be really great. So I would request Arthi ji to speak for a few moments on this forum.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here as a parent to have nominated Mr. Matthew. So it has been a wonderful evening. As one of the speakers, like I think you mentioned that the teachers are the builders of our nation, which is very true. This is what I have always believed. And I'm glad to have found the best school for my daughters, where Mr. Matthew is the principal. So I congratulate all the other principals and every visionary here. And it would be lovely to see our country headed in the direction where we are the leaders of education in the world.
Thank you so much, Archana. It is such a privilege and fortune to be on a common platform where principals, the edu leaders, the parents, who are the core stakeholders, who are entrusting their ward, their students, their child to the schools, and we have the faculty, the gurus, the acharyas. So we are together in this compact. We are witnessing this great moment, the Punyatithi of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, and where we are keeping the goal of reclaiming India as a preeminent global edu destination, charged with the power and the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, who unified the country into a strong
Maybe we can have one last word from Madam Shantwana Singh Shukla ji, who just joined in. Ma'am, please. You have to unmute yourself, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to all the dignitaries present here. And it's really a proud privilege to be a part of this event. And I'm so happy and I congratulate each and every one. And thank you for this wonderful program. And it is indeed a kind of great encouragement for, each one of us as educators also, that our efforts are recognized and, rewarded, awarded, and of course, felicitated in such a beautiful way. Thank you so much. Thank you for this ceremony and thank you for, chasing us and of course, making us the part of this event.
This we close
My pleasure.
the ceremony, and we thank you all for being with us for these
Thank you so much,
hours, 15 minutes. We hope to continue Rethink India's mission in furthering and forwarding the cause and case of the fifth estate, which is the foundational estate, which is the foremost estate, and on whose shoulders the building of this nation rests. So thank you.